Go ahead. Sorry.
No, keep going. Sorry.
No, you're good. Go, go, go.
No, I was going to say the porn thing was another thing I thought was wild because even the way that we interpret what we're seeing is different from boy to girl, right? And so for Hyatt to be like, he had a statistic on men being less attracted to their partners because of watching porn. So if the entire world's watching porn, then we all have no chance. Like the girls who are single, right? Like we have no chance. We can't compete against that. And
Well,
so,
that rolls into we're seeing a mass decline in birth rate.
yeah.
For the first time in recorded history, we're not replacing our people. That y'all, like we're doing this to ourselves, right?
And I take it a step
we're doing our own
further.
cleansing.
For sure. And I take it a step further, like with when you look at the type of content, even if a boy is watching YouTube, maybe he is watching someone who's more toxic masculinity, and they are giving this type of content to where now this boy feels like he needs to be this certain way or big macho man and like all those things as well, which I think is also, correlates to kind of, well, yeah, what you're seeing in porn and how that's affecting your brain and how you're thinking and seeing these things.
Hands
Which
down. And
I'm not going to marry you then. So,
well, and I think, it's also, and I hear this, and I have a lot of teens and young adults, and their sexual experiences are much, they're more hardcore. I mean, they're talking about things that were not talked about. They would not be acts that were engaged in my friends in high school that were having sex, that they're not going into anal sex. They're not going into, S&M. They're not going into fetishes. Like they're still vanilla sex. Maybe, sex in a car, sex outdoors. Like that's the thrill. And now these, 17-year-olds are very quickly going into anal sex. And it's like, what is happening, right? And we know that the more pornography and the harder porn that it gets, the more endorphins. And then the problem becomes you can't meet that rush anymore. So now you can't have an engaging, connected encounter with your partner. So they're not getting the fulfillment.
Yeah. And even I think, I'm not saying like experimenting in your sex life isn't great or anything, but it's like a lot of the hardcore stuff is not sustainable. Just like,
no, it's the expectation.
Yeah.
It's the starting point now where, yes, you've got two consenting adults, do what you want to do, right? But it's different. We're consenting adults in our 20s and our 30s and our 40s, but not like almost from the get-go of this harder, like, where do you go from there?
and that's definitely a conversation I've heard of recently. I don't know if you guys watch Love Island, but on the show there was a lot of like sexual activity to where the producers had to step in and be like, you guys, like, stop having so much like sexual things going on. And the conversation that was kind of happening on like TikTok and stuff was like, why are younger people so, the word they like to use is freaked out? Like, why are they so overly sexual all the time? Like you're saying, like instantly going to like these crazy places, doing these crazy things. And I'm like, it's interesting when you look at it from like a therapist perspective, because you're like, usually when people are, well, sometimes when people are over sexualized or over sexualized things, we're looking at maybe sexual abuse in like their upbringing and these things. And I'm like, but that's not always the case. So like as a society as a whole seeing this, that's a little like that is kind of like what's going on, like what's happening. It's not just regular vanilla, like you have sex like together with someone. It's you're doing BDSM and you're like doing going to sex clubs.
And
then Love Island
in high school.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And then Love Island, they were like putting milk into one person's mouth and then spitting it into the others. And I'm like, why are we doing this on TV?
That
This is
one's really nasty. No, that
It's-
challenge always is like, so like, let's just move past that one.
Why is this on
They're
TV?
just pushing boundaries. Why?
Yeah. Yeah.
For the
And then
clicks, for the, I mean, it all, right?
but
It all goes
middle
back
schoolers
to
are
that.
watching Love Island now.
Well, that
Mhm.
goes to, I mean, my goodness, the ratings on the streaming services now. You can't watch any kind of drama or romance or anything where you're not seeing full frontal of everybody. I'm like, seriously, where's the
Did you
family
guys
TV?
did you guys see that new I know we're kind of getting off topic a little bit, but did you guys see that new American Eagle uh pants
Yeah.
commercial with Sydney Sweeney,
Oh
where
my
they're
gosh,
literally
I
like
talked about this today.
they're like literally showing her tits and she's like, hey, up here, do you like my jeans? Bitch, I just saw your titties for like 45 seconds. What are you talking about? Sorry, I know it's a little off topic. Cut this part, you
Yeah.
guys. But I just had to say that because it's crazy. Like it in a jeans commercial, like you get someone with a big butt if we're trying to be sexual, at least it makes sense with the commercial. Showing me her boobs and you're talking about me buying jeans? Like, come on.
Hey, it's been going on for 30, I mean, forever. It was going on in the 70s too, right?
I mean, be
Sex
more creative.
sells. Sex sells, period.
I
And
think
like
the
the
difference-
rise of OnlyFans. The
Oh,
book talked about OnlyFans some
Mhm.
too. And like I was just scrolling on Instagram the other day, and I guess a lot of high schoolers that are graduating are immediately getting into the sex industry and like calling themselves like bops or something. But that's like a whole thing too now.
Wow.
Like 18, 19, fresh
One thing
adult.
that he mentioned in the book too, though, was like this has been around 30 plus years, the body image stuff, over sexualizing things. But I think the difference here is before it was women on magazines, they were famous, right? And
Yeah.
it was essentially almost a hierarchy. But because of social media, it's showing them people their age, people they can relate to that are doing these things, right? And it's like now it's more accessible. And so they're, like you said, teens are graduating high school and going into sex work, but because online they're seeing people that they can relate to that look like they're around their age, right? And so then that conversation brings you to like the disgusting predators online who enjoy watching kids, right? So now if kids are going into the sex industry as teen, like 18, 19,
Yeah.
we're just
Yeah.
fueling the fire.
Yeah.
It
And
is.
it goes into body image as well. Like you're saying, like comparing like, oh, you're 18 making $5 million and I have bigger boobs than you or something. So like, yeah, now I'm 18 and I'm gonna try to do this thing. And then when it doesn't work for you, well, now you just did all this stuff and like you're still
Well-
insecure or whatever, you know?
And it goes into even more than that. Like what I've seen is, we've got, I have an overwhelming teen, girls and stuff. And they're beginning to self-harm, not because it was ever a thought to, oh, I don't feel good, I'm going to try this to feel better. They've seen it on their social media feeds. Try this. This made me feel better. Right? Same thing with anorexia, on how to be anorexic, right? And you can get tips and tricks on bulimia and all of this. And it's like, are you kidding me? Like, we didn't have access to this. There was time I went through some big feels, huge feels, but I would have never, like, nobody would have said, hey, try this, you'll feel better. Right? I mean, and the same thing when it goes into the porn and the relationships and boys saying, hey, to their girlfriends or their partners or whoever they're talking to at the moment, try this. Let's do this. Not because they necessarily would have ever thought to do that, but because somebody online made it a cool thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I liked in the book, there's like this story about how like there was this girl who originally started her Instagram for like weightlifting and like fitness and stuff, and how her algorithm like quickly changed into, yeah, like bulimia and anorexia content. And it's like, that's so crazy, like to think, yeah, like how fast that can switch into, oh, I'm trying to like learn new workouts and eat a little bit better, to quickly like, yeah, like Cece saying, like, yeah, you're seeing skinny talk and I'm almond moms and stuff like that, to where it's like, okay, this quickly isn't content where it's healthy. And this isn't even what I originally wanted this for. And now I'm in this deep hole and I'm
sucked
not
in.
eating and I'm, you know, having problems and now having eating disorder. Like it just leads to this path, but it originally never started that way for you.
Yeah, there's this one girl on Instagram. She is so much promoting like disordered eating, but she's always like, this is how you eat ice cream and be skinny. This is how you order this and be skinny. This is how you have girls' night and be skinny. You walk here instead of drive there. You do this instead of that. And it's just
The
so
language.
like, oh, yeah. I could go on a rant, so I'm gonna.
Oh, I could too.
Yeah.
And you could look at it from the opposite end too, with all the like mukbangs and stuff. Like originally it started off because like I'll look up, like I'm a picky eater, so I'll look right, and I'll look up like reviews of this type of food. But then I'm slowly getting people like all this food stuffing it, and you're probably binge eating, overeating. Yeah, like Nick Avocado. Like there's these people where it's like this is just, now it's unhealthy, and now all these people are just seeing you stuff your face, and eventually like not only is it healthy for me watching this and maybe having other ideas, but for yourself, your own, just for like some fame on here. Like that's crazy.
Jelly bean sweets.
There are whole channels dedicated to like doing mukbangs, right? So it's like now
Okay,
you're
hold up. I'm the old one. What is a mukbang?
so
So
essentially
you're eating, you're recording yourself eating, like usually a lot of food.
Yeah.
so like it could be
Why? Who wants to watch that?
no, so we could
Exactly.
turn this into a mukbang. Like let's say all of us went McDonald's, for lack of better place, and we ordered as much as we could to try on the menu, and we're sitting there essentially like binge eating and chatting about the book. That's
Yeah.
what, yeah. So they
Yeah.
chat
Like one
about
time,
but they
one time I
binge.
saw one where they got a Chipotle burrito, and then she like
it
made it
in cheese?
a candied
Oh,
one where
I
it
saw
was
that
like,
one.
yeah, like,
Uh-huh.
and it's like, what are you doing? It's Chipotle. Relax. And but they do crazy stuff. Yeah. It's like getting, yeah, a crap ton of McDonald's, 20 burgers, 25, 20 French fries, and then we're all like, let's eat.
From
Well,
Eek.
I'm gonna say this and don't take offense to this, but the world is doomed.
I
What
didn't
is
even think about that.
happening?
At the end of the day, you're watching all of this stuff, right? And sometimes it's like watching a dumpster fire, like it's like a train wreck and you can't stop. But then
Yeah, but
next time you're at McDonald's,
subconsciously, that's
Yeah,
I mean,
like-
that's going in.
next time you're at
Mhm.
McDonald's with your friends, you're like, hey, let's get one of everything on the menu and like chow down.
Yeah.
Like that's what we do every weekend. Like we
Mhm.
because I think about it too.
This is
and
why
there's,
I'm
like,
not on social media.
it's cute now, right? Like adults can clearly understand more than children. And you have the little girls who will be like, Mommy, I'm doing my makeup because I saw it on YouTube, right? And that's different. But then
Now
it's
we
like
get into the Sephora girls, like
My God, no.
that's a whole nother rabbit hole that I just
that is a whole nother episode.
where's the science behind what that stuff's doing to kids long term, but we're not gonna talk about that.
Oh, 100%. I know my daughter's talking about, well, I've got this wrinkle cream, and I'm like, you're 23. What are you talking about?
Or like all the Botox and all this stuff. And then it's like, why do you look 45 and you're 20, 26? Not you, Cece. Like lip filler's nothing. Lip filler's nothing,
No, oh
girl.
my
I
gosh.
saw your face.
Well, okay, I'm not trying to like point anybody out, but the girl from Love Island who I don't remember her name, but she had all that work done.
Huda.
Vanna.
Oh, yeah.
I'll show you a picture later, Dr. Trace.
Let's all just log
Can we
off.
keep- can we keep-
That hers was real
Let's
bad.
just say she had a lot going on that it looked as though maybe like handsome Squidward. Have you ever heard of
Watched her.
Handsome Squidward?
She looked like a porcelain doll that should be on your dresser, and that's a nice way. That's a
Or like
nice
the
way to be
Saw
putting it.
mask. And I'm not saying
I
this to
was
be
gonna
funny.
no, I was
Okay, that I know. Okay, gotcha.
Okay, so it was the Saw mask in
Yeah.
human form.
yeah.
Well, and
And
I,
they
you
used
know, I mean,
pictures of her, and she was beautiful before, just naturally.
Well, and a lot of people were saying specifically on her situation, which you'll definitely have to show her a picture so she gets it. But specifically with her, a lot of people were saying how she's from like Utah, so like a more Mormon community. So the beauty
Mhm.
standards are just like super impossible. And so that she just kind of was keeping up with that. And I guess she started getting like Botox and filler when she was like 16, like really, really young.
who's
Um,
what parent is okay with that? I don't.
And
Yeah.
injector, doctor.
I'm just telling you what they're saying online. So
I mean, that goes to like social media as well, because like,
Yeah.
I mean, personally, like I'll see girls, I'm like, oh my God, y'all are so beautiful, like, you know, and compare myself. So yeah, yeah.
Mm-mm. 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 No. Mm-mm.
I just sent you a picture, Dom Trees.
Okay. Well,
But to
okay.
get back on topic.
But a
So
lot of
let's
people were
switch.
so glad that before we switch, a lot of people were so glad that she went on the show because we're like, now we can use her as an example of like what not to do and how getting Botox and these things so young because of social media is so negative. Like, look how scary she looks and look how like unreal and unnatural. And you're 21, I think she is. Like it's insane and it's concerning and it's a little bit sad. Like I have so much empathy that your adults in your life didn't encourage you to just like to not do something like that. So I thought that was interesting that it brought up
But even I think
that.
in that retrospect, is she a great example for having had technology too young?
Right.
Because if she would have had her phone at 16, maybe she wouldn't have gotten there.
Probably not. You
Yeah.
would have grown up more like I did, where I had, you know, Elle Magazine, Cosmopolitan, you know, those types of things, which, by the way, were really expensive because I came from a single mom household. And so I might be able to buy one every 3 months, right? So it was only those glossies, not the constant every minute 192 notifications a day with that in your face.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it changes you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, what are some ways we're seeing this phone-based childhood show up in our clients?
I would say,
Oh, you go first.
oh, sorry. I have a client who has a large presence on social media at a young age. And just seeing how it's the rush for the likes and like the validation from getting likes and comments and things
Well,
like
I liked
that.
the front picture of all
Yeah.
the likes.
But it's like
Right?
the dopamine hits from getting the positivity and creating, but then also like the hate that is able to be, and like because of her presence, like bullies at school now putting
Oh, yeah.
her address online. Like that's ridiculous, right? And kids, like y'all are saying, don't know because they're not seeing the other person's face and and like the fear that this is creating, and they're not face to face, right? That kids think that this stuff is just funny when it's somebody's life, and like you probably as a kid would not hold a knife to the other person's throat and like do that right in front of their face. But why are we essentially doing that online and
Well, but
telling
the kids,
themselves and bringing up rape these days?
yeah. Well, and the kids are also posturing and not showing the vulnerable, like, hey, that hurt my feelings, right? Instead, they come back with some, sarcastic, snarky defending instead of learning how to say like, hey, it's not okay. That really hurt my feelings, right? It was a low blow. Whatever. They're not. And so the person never gets any confirmation like, hey, that's not okay.
Yeah,
I'd
but
even
then
go as far as say they don't even get consequences to
Mhm.
like that thing either. So
Sure, because the person
you
doesn't
are
say anything. They're embarrassed, they're hurt. So they're not, talking to teachers, they're not talking to parents, they're just
Right.
moving on.
But even in, I think, talking with their parents about it, right? It's coming at you in such a mass quantity. It's not just like one person here and there. You're getting 10, 20 comments telling you to kill yourself.
Right.
It's wild.
Right.
Like, okay, well,
Yep.
20 against my one, somebody's right, and the odds are it's not me.
Yeah, and I'm seeing the same thing with my clients and my older clients. Same thing, which is, just like, wow.
I was going to say, not my own personal clients, but in my university supervision the other day, one of the girls brought up, and she's in a completely different state. So that's why it was like super eye-opening for me. Also, she was like, we're seeing a lot of teens come in and they're scared to like go into a gas station and get something, or scared to do this and talk to someone. And I can definitely see how like that goes into like the protective supervision of parents and stuff, and just how it's like really changing the way we interact and communicate and do things overall.
Well,
I'd
I
also
think
look
that,
at it
go
from
ahead,
another perspective too, is what I was going to say, like, because there is a lot of lacking of face-to-face interaction. That's why so many kids lean towards the social media stuff, because then you're getting like, just as much as you're getting negative stuff, you are getting people who are commenting like, hey, like I have friends who have a lot of like, well, I know of people who have a lot of like parasocial relationships. You have this whole relationship that's been built online. I mean, and we could talk about this for days because, now it's advanced with Bumble BFF, Tinder, dating on everything's advertised to find people, find your community online. It's advertised that everything we can do is like right here in the palm of our hands. And so I think that's like really scary too. Like, why are all of your friends based off of the internet and your social media? Like, what about those face to face? Like, I get we have anxiety, but you don't have anxiety messaging somebody online. They could just leave you on red. That's almost just as embarrassing, right? Like, and that as whatever is going to happen when you walk into the gas station.
well, and then that speaks to, y'all have heard me say this before, but where's your 3 a.m. friend? Where's that friend that when you are melting down and need help at 3 a.m., who do you call when all your friends are online in Canada, in Australia, in New York, West Virginia, Arkansas, whatever? What do you do? What do you do when you're sick? What do you do when you get into a car accident and you need somebody to come pick you up? Like, what do you do? No, we can't do that. And I know with COVID and we went all virtual and everybody was pushing it, jobs were pushing it, right? Hey, we can save a crap ton in overhead by shifting. Lots of therapists did it. I contemplated it at one time. Thank goodness I didn't. But what we found out after about 4 years of research post-COVID, like I said, takes time, that when we're doing this, while this serves a purpose, right? We're all in probably a 15-mile radius of each other currently, and we see each other frequently. We're doing this for recording purposes, but we're not highlighting, our brains are not lighting up in the same places they would if we were face to face. And we need activations of that part of our brain. Right? So, I mean, no, it's not the same. We're herd animals. We need to commune.
Yeah. Oh, it's funny as you say that too. It's like even here, at least for me, has ADHD, but trying not to cut someone off, right? And like digitally, it's harder to recognize when someone's done speaking or when you can speak. And then as we're talking, right, let's say someone else wants to interject, this audio stuff will mute somebody while else. So the other, and it's like, so now it's the whole thing's cut off. Whereas if we were in real life, I could still hear the end of your thought while someone else's thoughts coming in.
Mhm.
And I feel like too, like being on this, like my phone's right next to me. I can easily, like, if I wanted to, like, be scrolling, and if I was in person, I would like definitely
You wouldn't do that.
not be
'Cause it
like,
would be rude.
yeah. Which I mean, not that it's not rude now, but you know,
But they can't see that you're being rude.
right, yeah.
So you
Mhm.
don't get the looks, the potential looks.
Yeah, and also, I was just gonna say sorry. My dog has been yapping, so I've been trying to keep myself muted. He is whining so bad.
We can't hear it.
Yeah, yeah,
That's the beauty of technology. The sound is great. Can't hear anything.
yeah, for sure, for sure. So, okay, so how do we walk that line with parents between educating them and not shaming them? Did the book help you to think about that differently?
I like to talk, and this book was great. I feel so passionate about it. But he mentions how parents looking at raising their children as gardeners, and where you tend a garden, but you don't sit there and have to be super meticulous about it.
I love
Mhm.
I thought that that was really great, and it's a great way to put it for parents to digest that, you know, and it not be like your self-help books and everything's great. Everything you're doing is great, right? But you're tending to a garden. Sometimes weeds will pop up. Sometimes things will not make it right that season, and that's okay.
Absolutely. I loved that analogy. That was, to me, was very digestible, right? And y'all know me, I'm not about blaming, I'm just about shining a light. And now we have the knowledge, and what do we do differently with it? Right? Now we have the data, we have the knowledge, we cannot ignore it. I mean, you can, but that's your own shit. That's not mine. What are you going to do? How do we start making those adjustments? And I like that he spends a whole chapter saying, these are the things that we can start doing. And I think, at least here in Texas, I don't know if Governor Abbott read the book or not, or he was just fed enough information that it came through, and we don't have cell phones in the schools. And I am very excited about that. But again, all of us who have kids, clients that are kids, expect a rough 8 weeks. Start of the school year, expect a rough 8 weeks. It's going to be a lot of support for the parents, parent coaching. I say all the time, we have a kid come in, there's going to be parent coaching because that kid wasn't raised in a petri dish. So how can we support them?
Telling them to read this book. It's a great read.
I think I've told all of my parents, all of them.
I actually told one of my teens to read the book because they like to read. So
yeah, absolutely.